You're tapping into the MMA Homie podcast on West Coast Radio. I am DJ MTK. I am proud to announce who I have with me here. UFC, Angela Hill. Thank you for stopping by.
Hey,
hey, so we're going to baptize you into this MMA Homie podcast, all right?
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 questions and you answer, and you got a minute and a half to answer. Now, usually if people don't answer, you got to take a shot. But we'll start here. Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Submission or knockout?
Knockout. What does that mean? Oh. I'm like, did I lose?
Herb Dean or Big John?
Big John.
Oh, okay. Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
Street Fighter.
Alcohol or flour?
These days, flour.
Okay. I'm on that tip too. Barbecue food or carne asada?
Isn't it the same?
No, because carne asada be like tacos.
Yeah, that's true.
Steak. Barbecue would be like ribs.
I'm from Maryland, so I gotta say barbecue.
Okay. So during rounds, stand or sit?
During rounds?
Yeah.
Like in between?
Yeah.
Oh, sit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rap or R&B music?
Rap.
Hella or for show?
I feel like I don't use either.
All right. What's your favorite?
Word.
Word. And you had Vegas or Miami?
Miami.
Tyson or Ali?
Tyson.
Bloodsport or Enter the Dragon?
Into the Dragon.
What was this? What was IG or TikTok?
IG.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
All right, we'll get you out of here on that.
Okay.
We'll get you out on there. Hey, thank you, Angela Hill, for stopping by. We'll have you spin the West Coast wheel. I mean, there's a sex story on here. There's take a shot.
Oh, I didn't read that.
Yeah. There's that one time you said fuck it. There's gangsta story. There's a free bottle of Henny. I mean, it's up to you. Oh, you did a baby one.
Oh, wait.
Let's see, I'll stand up and do it. Okay, ready? 1, 2. All right, we'll take that. Spin again.
Oh, man, I'm scared.
That one time you said, fuck it. Story time with Angela Hill.
I mean, basically my first fight. When I was training, it was just for fun, and like I started sparring a little bit, but I didn't think I was that good. And then my coach was like, "Hey, so there's a tournament coming up. You want to do it?" And I'm like, I haven't even been training a year yet. I think I've been training like 9 months at that point. And he liked what he saw, so he was like, "Yeah, you want to do this tournament?" And I was like, fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that is a fucking moment. That is a fucking moment. Let's see what happens. Did you win?
Yeah, I won.
All right.
Yeah, that was my victory. Ooh, yes.
Finish him.
Listen, I wrote down a ton of questions to ask you. I went from your next fight, from the UFC Sphere to UFC 307 prediction. One question though, I really did want to ask is you've done hundreds of interviews. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, is there ever like a question or something you're like, man, I wish somebody would ask me this, or I really would love to talk about this? Is there anything like that's ever been like, man?
Not really. I
Okay.
feel like they always kind of dig.
Right.
I feel like they always have a good amount of questions. I'm not sure.
I was interested because I've been listening to you. It's the MMA Hour on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested. How did you get into that? How long you been doing that for?
I'm not sure when I got the call, but I got the call right before one of my fights. I think it was right before I fought Amanda Lemos.
Okay.
And they said that I guess I had done something, some kind of interview or something, and they liked what they saw, they liked what they heard. I have been doing podcasts with Karen Bryant and with my girl Jessica
That's the
Penney.
ESPN on. She does the commentary.
Yeah. So I've been doing podcasts with both of them, and they were looking for another MMA personality to be on the show.
Yeah.
So they hit me up, and I had my little trial show where I came in and did about maybe 30 minutes to an hour, and they liked what they heard. I said some interesting things, so then they brought me on as a full-time co-host.
And has that been like a year?
I think a year, maybe two, almost like a year and a half.
Wow.
Year and a half, because it was like December of 2022 or something like that.
And then your podcast is called
Two Straws.
Two Straws Podcast. I was watching some of it, and I like. You know what it is. After your last fight, which was a tough fight, but Shark was that her?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys.
The baby Shark.
You guys went at it. Like if I was a judge, I'd have a tough time. What did you think?
I mean, in it was pretty obvious to me that I wasn't getting hit that hard, and I was landing a lot harder on her.
Yeah.
So it sucks because the optics of it looked a little different. Like on the inside,
okay.
I'm like, ooh, I'm hurting her, and all she's doing is kind of flailing and not really hitting me clean or bouncing off of the side of my head, or I'm slipping the punches, but the optics, because there's a lot of hands flying fast, it's hard to catch all that. So it's a sucky one, but there's a lot to learn from it. So yeah.
You know what's interesting is that I've gone to a few live fights, and then I've watched them on TV, and my outlook on the fight is completely different.
Yeah, it's weird.
I sometimes too, like, I forgot who it was that I saw. It was in Anaheim, UFC 298. I'm gonna think of the Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa fight. Paulo Costa had the crowd. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I'm thinking, he kind of low key won. But when I went back and watched it, I was like, Robert Whittaker really did beat it. But being there and watching it was two different stories. So it's interesting to be a judge, I think, in those situations. Like, I'm thinking, too, because they're watching here, right? And they're watching through the fence. You miss things.
Yeah.
So, but circle around, when I watch your podcast, your attitude and your energy, like, how do you pick yourself back up? Like, you have such a positive energy.
I mean, it's the only way to get through.
But it's hard. I mean, I lose
MMA.
Something small.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck the world. I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, share with somebody, the inside of, like, does it that night, do you just kind of take it all in, or?
I mean, I get to punch people for a living, so I get to relieve a lot of stress. You
Right.
know, I go back into training and I work on things, work on little stuff that I felt like I could have done better in the fight. So it's like the outcome doesn't really matter as much as how you performed and how you're gonna get better.
That part. That part. The other thing too, I wrote down. First African American UFC female fighter.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's like, we were talking about the culture, and Charles Johnson had done an interview with us before, and he was sharing me with some things. I mean, how does that feel to represent, for the younger culture out there that's looking at you?
It's cool.
Do you see that, like, at events and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where you don't really realize that people are looking up to you until you meet them and they say it, and they're like, oh shit, there's probably a lot of people who haven't said it that are looking up to me too. But it's one of those things that you don't go into, like, I didn't go into MMA saying I'm going to be the first black woman in here, but doing so, it might have opened the door for people who were kind of on the fence, who felt like, I don't think I'd be successful for whatever reasons, because of the culture, because of I guess the culture of MMA too. It can be very, I don't know, just like divisive. Mm-hmm. So I think it's cool to have different people in there who represent different things, and I'm one of them. I'm one of the few, and it's cool meeting other black women, other women, other guys. Like, I get that message from everyone, you know, like not just black chicks who train, but like everyone. They'll just be like, yeah, you're really holding it down. You're representing, you know, I'm always cheering for you. And yeah, it's a good feeling. I feel like there's a lot of people behind me that you don't necessarily see them all the time. And like during COVID, it was kind of hard because the only interaction you had with fans was online. Yeah. But whenever you meet people in person, like you get a lot of love.
Well, I mean, he's from kind of the South, right? And we were just talking about like the opportunities for people in certain parts of the country. They don't see an opportunity. You know, they're just kind of stuck in a low poverty almost. And to give people outlets like MMA, like wrestling, you know, to have people that look the same as you to say, man, maybe I can do that. Maybe there is more. Maybe I can achieve more. There's hope.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I look at it. I look at it like you're really actually changing young people's lives out there that have something to admire and to inspire to.
I hope so.
No, real talk.
I hope I'm not doing all this for nothing, you know.
Real talk. And then all the other different things you're doing. I mean, that's super impressive too. I mean, it's just not the MMA and the UFC side. You know, what you're doing with the podcast and what you're doing in the media. I mean, like you're kind of building a little baby empire for yourself.
I'm trying to.
No, I see that.
I know. You know, my career is gonna come to an end at some point. You know, so I have to start thinking about the future. And I'd really love to be a staple in MMA media. I'd love to commentate more often. Laura Senko is out there in UFC doing the commentator, holding it down for the women. I'd love to be in one of the other people that they look to. So I think I have a lot to offer. I have a good mind for analyzing and watching fights and picking apart like the techniques and everything. And then the more that I've trained, the more I actually know. So I always feel like I know what I'm talking about, which isn't always the case with some fighters. Like they get in there, they can fight, but they don't know what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
So
there's levels to it.
Yeah, there's levels to it. There's levels to it. I always laugh when I hear DC breaking down like the boxing and I'm like, like, bro.
DC, my guy.
No, I love picking on DC. That's what he does to everyone.
I'm gonna try to send him this clip.
I'll see if he
catches it.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I feel like I have a lot to offer, especially on the female side. We have different struggles as well. We go through different things in fight camp and in the weight cut on fight day. So I feel like it's nice to have that female perspective, especially because WMMA has gotten so huge in the last few years.
You know, full transparency, I wasn't the biggest female fan.
No.
But
you just hate females.
No. But
MMA.
No. I've learned over time.
Yeah.
How competitive that divisions have become.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not respect it? That's where I'm at. Even with the Shevchenko and Grasso fight, they were an inch from each other of one making a mistake. The fact that Grasso was on the ground and almost had 3 or 4 submission attempts on her back, like, that was super impressive. Like, so I've just gained to love the respect of the competitiveness of the female side of MMA. And I'm just being honest with myself, you know what I mean? Like, I've grown to love it now.
Yeah, I mean the nature or what people were saying back then is like, oh, girls can't fight. Right. So you're gonna be affected by that,
right? Yeah,
you're gonna be affected by that.
And men think we're the best. We the shit.
Yeah, there you go. There's like,
but we cry when we're sick.
Yeah,
I just tell my
then you need your soup. And
I want a little bell every time, like I get a fingernail and shit, like, you know.
Yeah.
Men be bitches sometimes, for real.
And like I feel like women would scrap during childbirth. Like we just don't know how to quit. We don't know how to say no. We don't know, like the Aldana fight on that same card. Like
I wrote that down. I was like, let me ask you about this then. A part of me felt like maybe someone should have stepped in and just stopped it. What do you feel?
I think look at the fighter. She seems very happy with what happened. Aside from like losing, she was coming back in that round. She was like, you know,
that third round. Forward. She won that third round.
Yeah, she was so close. Like she gassed the girl out. The girl thought she was in the clear, and like Aldana came forward. She was landing the best that she had landed all fights.
Mexican heart for sure.
Yeah. I think ask Aldana
I wish she would start earlier. Like, I feel like she kind of like the first round gets the feeling out, and then that second, third round she starts to pick it up.
I mean, that was her fucking moment.
Yeah.
She's like the cut man.
And that was from a head. That was like from a head guy. What did you think about UFC Sphere? What was your impression on it?
It was good.
Yeah, I mean, I was amazed.
Yeah.
Like, I was amazed. Every time I think about Vegas, that's what they do. That's their MO, you know, and they didn't disappoint.
Yeah, this is the first time they were there, but yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought they did all the fun glamour. No, I didn't. Nah. There was it was like $2,000 a seat, so they're like, no one's getting a free seat.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was gonna. So, any fight announcements? Do you have a fight coming up? Or
no, not yet. Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting. It's been about a month now, so I'm still waiting to hear back. But there's a few. Like, I'd like to get that fight back, the Lemos one. It was one of those weird ones where it's just like everyone thought I won. So that's one that I'm looking at. Also, Jessica Andrade, we fought my first fight back into the UFC, so that was like maybe 8 years ago. And I'd like to get that one back too, because I know she scraps. I know it's gonna be like both of us in each other's faces, just throwing down. So yeah, those two I think would be fun fights to ranked opponents. And if they're unranked, I'm just gonna whoop on them like I always do. So
there we go. Get that paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, I could probably talk with you all day, but I did want to ask, the UFC 307. You have Piera or you have Roundtree?
I gotta say, no, Alex Pereira. I mean, I almost said Roundtree, so maybe that's a sign. But
well, you know they're just gonna bang. I can't see it going to the ground.
No.
Right?
No.
I mean, they're just gonna.
He's been saying that there's no way he's going for a takedown, which makes me think he's going to go for a takedown.
Roundtree or Piera?
Roundtree has.
I mean, low-key, I think that's smart. It's funny when the Aljo fight, I was like, Aljo, why aren't you turning? Why don't we stick to that game plan? And I felt like he was thinking that the crowd would boo him if he kept taking people down. Like, you know what I mean?
I think he just was having trouble getting in, and then when he finally went, he got popped, you know? And I also think it was kind of an early stoppage, especially for a championship fight. Like, they should have given him some time to fight back.
Yeah, I was going to say that...
and Dominic Cruz would agree.
When you have your next fights... is that something that you try to promote yourself, or does that work through an agent? How does that usually work within, like...
The UFC promotes it. If I'm promoting it as well, then they love that, but it's not a requirement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it, I guess... Okay, so the gym you fight out of here is where? In San Diego, right?
Yeah, I fight at a few gyms, but like my MMA team is called SoCal Fight Collective.
All right.
So yeah,
there we go.
Go to Instagram if you want to train with us. You know.
Well, listen, I just future UFC Hall of Famer. I'm just saying. You know, I'm gonna run the tape back in a couple years and be like, hey, any last words?
Now keep watching. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Still got more fight in me.
Let's fucking go.